Marquis Bilson, 1420 WEMB Sports Radio. And we're going to go to Blacksburg and Knoxville again, out of the Tri-Cities. Well, I'm the only guy that gave you the perspective of Mladen Armus going to Boise State. And if you missed it, go to medium.com. And, Mladen Armus, do the searches, Marquis Bilson, Mladen Armus, that sort of thing, Boise State. And you will find out my take there. And really one of my main takes is, it is a little surprising, ETSU to Boise State. Looks like Boise State, though, in 2 years could be, with the transfers and the players they're bringing in, really good. Maybe not national title good, but good nevertheless. It's been a winning program. And my main thing there is, perception. That sort of thing. Does the big-time football... One thing isn't debatable. Steve Forbes interviewed at WAC member New Mexico a couple of years ago, and you heard an inside take here from the people in Albuquerque that nobody else had on 1420 WEMB Sports Radio, on Tri-City Sports Now back then. But nobody really objected to Steve Forbes trying to improve his lot at New Mexico. Well, they're in the WAC, so why wouldn't a player trying to improve his status, more playing time, whatever, going to the WAC be given the same respect? That's a double standard. Big time. All right. Talking a little bit about baseball. I do this. I love baseball. You know what's great about baseball? And I say, with all the changes, they're putting a mustache on a Mona Lisa. What's great about baseball, it's still the Mona Lisa. Mustache is on it, but they do universal DH. The goatee will be as well, but it's still the Mona Lisa. But people are objecting to it. Big time. And Bill Madden, who's been a very good baseball writer, he talked about, a lot of this is perception is reality and such, and he says, okay, the Yankees, sure, maybe they did real well on the coast. They played the Angels and the Giants. How good are they? And it's sort of like what I told you about when the Indians a couple of years ago were winning 22 in a row. Yeah, it was a historic streak. But look, they've won 11 games against the bottom tier of the AL Central. And the bottom tier of the AL Central, Tigers don't have Verlander anymore. 3 of their starters began the year with the Toledo Mud Hens. How difficult is it to beat that team? Same thing going on now. Orioles, Marlins, certainly, Royals, Tigers, Red Sox. Royals are they're only 2015 and a world champ. Why are they tanking? Orioles, 2016, they're in the playoffs. Remember the wild card game? Why didn't Showalter use his closer? Come on. Tigers, White Sox, Reds, as well as the Orioles, Royals, Marlins. You've got those no hope. Why should anyone go there? Other than, we live in Baltimore, double your attendance. We're not going to have that. Somebody's got to finish in last place, I understand that. But there's a feeling that the A's, Pirates, Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, and Brewers, even though the Brewers played for the world title last year, well, I say that, they made the Final Four. They made the championship series, okay? So that's not playing for the world title, but it is playing for the pennant. So I apologize there. Or the Blue Jays are doing well this year, or the Pirates had a winning record last year. Yeah, those are teams that are supposed to lose. They're supposed to be mediocre. And that tag has hurt them years ago, so maybe it's ancient history and it doesn't matter. But when they opened Sky Dome up and they won the division, they sold out every game. Well, now it's Rogers Center, but, they're not selling out every game. Stuff in Toronto, like people wear Tennessee stuff around here. But this was in the off-season of hockey. I looked for people wearing Blue Jays caps. The only thing that I saw that had anything to do with the Toronto Blue Jays, we drove down the street and we saw a baseball card shop, sports memorabilia store. And they had certainly the Leafs logo up, but they had a sign that had the Maple Leafs and the Blue Jays logos up. That was the only thing in all of Toronto that I saw that, had the bird with the maple leaf on it and all that. Went to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I remember met this guy, big Canadian and all that. America, I have no idea what you just said. Loonie it's a type of coin in Canada, okay? But I joked about that. The Maple Leafs coach is here. He was really excited. He was the Maple Leafs coach of the Hockey Hall of Fame, and he wanted to change for a loonie. Okay. Anyway, it's just... I always just thought about that, who's he? I mean, with currency that is insane. Let's see here. The other thing Madden talks about in baseball, losing attendance, the analytics equation, home run derby. I used to, as a kid, when I lived in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, we had the Phillies games on TV. We had certainly the Braves with TBS. We had the Orioles we could watch. There were no Nationals. There's still the Expos. And the Pirates they were my team, and I was, lived in Pittsburgh. And I mean, you could follow the Pirates in Shippensburg as well. Although their games weren't broadcast nearly as much as, we didn't have an affiliate there until 87. Vince Coleman. Now, I know that Ricky Anderson has the record with 130. I get that, but, you had, there was always something going on, and all this. And it wasn't necessarily, home runs aren't being hit. No, I mean, you had Schmidt and you had Murphy in the National League and all this. But it wasn't the style of ball, wait around for the 3-run. Course of time, new ballparks will be built. So why not have them built with, say, retractable roofs, deep center fields, that sort of thing. The way that ballparks with deep center fields used to be built because pitchers then could pitch and they could go 9. And also, then you weren't necessarily just waiting around for the 3-run homer. Another thing, and so he mentions a lot of stuff here. Check this and Major League Baseball and some of the reasons. He's got it spot on. And he says, the one thing he says is that he didn't think there were enough pitchers or enough quality players to fill up the 30 slots. I'm saying that's debatable because although I could see that with the pitchers, since you've expanded the staff, I've always thought, we've got more people than ever. We're looking to more lands than ever for players. So maybe there are enough spots for 30 teams, in my opinion. He does say that he'd like to contract. No, you never want to contract. If you contract, then you know what baseball becomes officially? They become Sears. They become Kmart. That officially will give them a loser's rep. At least when you move a team, you're saying one group of fans stink, kill. I mean, and that's what folding a team would do, or contracting and all those. LeBron James has said he'd like to contract teams in the NBA. He's such an innovative thinker and all that. I'll tell you who is an innovative thinker. It's SoCon John Hooper. And we're going to talk a little bit about basketball transfers when we come up in the Southern Conference and more. Hey, ETSU, they saw Mladen Armus go to Boise State, but they also saw some players come in, and there was an official announcement of one player before. We'll talk about all of it on Tri-City Sports Now when we return after this.